everyone, it's so good to be here again. Thank you so much for always being here. And of course, we bring you trending, exciting reports from Nigeria and beyond. And there's a serious case that has been leveled against the Efcc former boss, Ibrahim Magu. And this time it is getting serious because some of the seized properties were said to have been cornered by top Efcc officials, and some of them are Magu's friend. That is what this panel has actually come about this time around. But surprisingly, Magus have said that all allegations that have been leveled against him are all lies. They are all concocted to tarnish his image, and he said that by his counsel said that in respect to Magu. And of course, this is the report that will be coming to you shortly. But before then, guys, if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Ensure you hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell and give us a thumbs up. Okay, guys. Just as we do it here, this is Saffron Media, and we're here to give you trending, exciting, reliable, and authentic happenings in Nigeria. All right, let us dive right into the details of these reports and see what some of the EFCC officials that were involved in this case of Ibrahim Magu. The suspended acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Mr. Ibrahim Magu, could not give a proper account of missing 332 out of the 836 recovered properties in March 2018. The news agency of Nigeria has reported on Sunday that the latest allegation against the suspended EFCC boss was contained in a report of the Presidential Committee on Audit of Recovered Assets. It is also stated that the panel alleged that recovered properties were taken over by some top EFCC officials or sold to Magu's friends and cronies at giveaway prices. The news agency had on Saturday reported that the panel, in its report titled Final Report of the Presidential Investigation Committee on the EFCC Federal Government Recovered Assets and Finances from May 2015 to May 2020, alleged that Magu was unable to account for the interest generated from the 550 billion naira cash recovered from 2015 to 2020. The President, Mohammed Ibrahim set up the Justice Ayo Salami-led committee, which is currently investigating allegations of the corruption against Magu. After the panel on the audit of recovered assets submitted its report, besides the chairman Alhaji Abdullahi Ibrahim, other members of the previous committee were Deputy Inspector General Anthony Ogbizi, a member from the Federal Ministry of Justice, Moladi Dogondaji from the EFCC, Hassan Abdullahi from the Department of State Service, an unnamed member from the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, Chinedu Ifedioha from the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, while Mr. Kazim Atitebe served as the secretary. The Salami panel was constituted to enable the suspended EFCC chairman respond to allegations leveled against him in reports of the Committee Audit of Recovered Assets. NAN also reported on Sunday that PCARS reported indicated that there was massive wastage and deterioration of physical assets, including landed properties, cars, and vessels recovered by the EFCC due to poor management. It also noted that the EFCC failed to preserve and realize the economic value of the recovered assets, noting that some of the assets were recovered over 15 years ago and left fallow. The report stated a disturbing example is the two vessels that allegedly sunk at the NNS Baycross Naval Base, Lagos, and the NNS Pathfinder Naval Base in Port Harcourt without trace under the watch of the acting chairman of the EFCC. The vessel named MT Good Success, MV PSV Debbie, and MV Thames were allowed to sink in spite of several warnings from the Navy on the need to evacuate the petroleum products in the vessels. The total value of assets lost due to the negligence runs into millions of the United States dollars. The suspended acting chairman has yet to provide a report on what happened to those vessels, the report said. According to NAN, PCARS report also revealed that the few consultants hired by the Efcc were not managing a substantial number of the recovered assets, and that the Efcc had no capacity to manage the entire asset on its own. The committee therefore alerted the nation to the economic and environmental implication of this negligence of duty by the Commission. It also stated that the Efcc made conflicting submissions or returns to it in respect of the non-cash assets which substantially affected the committee's assignment. The report read in part, for instance, the Efcc stated 836 as the number of recovered properties in the original returns it made to the President on July 4, 2017. However, in its first return to PCARA on December 13, 2017, the Efcc shortchanged the system and gave the figure of 339, thereby failing to account for 497 properties. It is interesting to note that when the acting chairman was further queried on this lapse, he made further contradictory second return of 504 on March 9, 2018, thereby bridging the gap to 332 properties. The committee identified lack of internal control mechanisms and system within the EFCC and the lack of adequate returns by the EFCC departments and zonal offices as reasons for these discrepancies and inconsistencies by the Commission. It is also alleged that the suspended EFCC boss neglected or refused to comply with the regulations on the management of recovered assets 2019 as he embarked on disposing some of the properties without regard to extant law. It is stated these regulations were issued in line with international best practices and to ensure that all the anti-corruption agencies report all their recovered assets in a database provided by the federal government. It is important to note that the suspended acting chairman, in apparent disregard of the regulation, is disposing of properties without regard to extant laws and regulations and without reference to the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation. In effect, there is no way to have an audit of the property. And some of the reports also state that most of the recovered assets are allegedly sold without anyone knowing and without proper records and without recourse to the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing that has the mandate to undertake evaluation of such properties. Some of the assets have been taken over by EFCC officials, while some are sold at giveaway prices to friends and cronies of the acting chairman. It is also on record that the suspended acting chairman is maintaining different accounts, including using proxies, who return the benefits of the sold assets to him. These funds are then used to procure properties and lands in the name of some of his proxies. And also, a senior advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Tayo Oteyibo, has also said that it is against the Constitution of Nigeria that Magu be held in the police custody for more than 24 hours. In a statement he titled, "Magu Still Has Rights," Oteyibo contended that notwithstanding the weighty allegations against Magu, his detention beyond 24 hours without being charged to court was a violation of the Constitution. And the Sun also said through the EFCC under Magu was notorious for long detention of suspects in violation of Section 35 of the Nigerian Constitution. The law of karma has no place under our constitutionalism, he said. Amidst the cacophony of allegations of serious crimes made against Magu, the law of Nigeria still speaks the same language which is expressed on Section 35 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which provides to the effect that every person who is arrested or detained upon reasonable suspicion of his having committed a criminal offense shall be brought before a court of law within a period of 24 hours in the case of an arrest in a place where there is a court of competent jurisdiction within a radius of 40 kilometers. Otherwise, he ought to be released on bail. So guys, that is it. You've heard it all as regarding Magu, that some of the assets that were recovered were sold to some of the EFCC officials, and not just officials, and to some of his friends and allies. And of course, as the case is going, we know so many things are beginning to unveil itself and much more. And we hope that the case is being handled well at the end of the day. So guys, whatever you have to say, please drop it in the comment section. We'll be waiting to hear from you. We'll be waiting to read from you. And also don't forget to subscribe and also give us a thumbs up. And most importantly, don't forget to turn on the notification bell. Okay guys, thank you for staying tuned. Have a pleasant time. Bye for now.